It's Jessica, your friendly maritime officer. I'm also known in some circles as Auntie Jessica. Yes, because another part of my life is I also teach children, I teach reading lessons, and I also take the time to mentor them. Very important. And I'm sharing that with you with intention because a lot of what I'm going to be speaking about today has to do with safety and sustainability. And we know once we're talking about our children, we're always preoccupied with their safety. And we also know whenever we talk about sustainability, a big reason for wanting to do that is because we want to leave this world as good as it is, or even better always, for the sake of our children. So today, one of the main things that we are going to be talking about is seaworthiness. A bit of a cumbersome word, but what does that word entail? Basically, you want to be able to ensure that your vessel is fit, or as we would say, worthy to be on the sea. Some of the things that would entail: safe navigation. We need to be able to find where we're going, stay on track, and arrive there safely. Life-saving appliances. Fancy word once again. Life rings, life jackets, and so on. We don't only want to ensure that we have them, we need to ensure that they are in good condition. We also need to ensure that we allow our passengers to understand what is the correct way of wearing them and where they can be found in case of emergency. Fire protection. Once again, pretty straightforward. Your fire extinguishers. You would think that once you have them, that's okay. However, we don't just want to have them there for years and years and years and they're not being serviced, and more importantly, we don't know how to find them or how to use them. Passenger capacity. We need to understand how many persons our different vessels are equipped to carry. We need to understand, yes, we are involved in commercial activity and we like to know we're taking lots of persons and we want to be able to enjoy ourselves, but in all that we do, we want to do that in a safe way. And in knowing how many passengers we are allowed to carry, then we also get an idea. We go back again to that life-saving equipment, how many we need to have available to ensure everyone is safe. Pollution prevention. Now this has to do with making sure we take good care of our engine and so on, that we clean our vessels well. We don't want to be polluting our beautiful, pristine beaches and our waters with oil. We also, for those vessels that will be larger and carry more persons, you want to make sure that you have your holding tank, that when persons go to the bathroom, we don't want to be polluting with sewage. And we also need to be mindful of how we dispose of our garbage. This is very important once again. So in all that we do, this is where I'm going to come back now to that phrase you heard me say earlier, sustainability. We need to always make sure that everything we do is done in a balanced way. Yes, we want to prosper, we want to thrive, we want to be able to enable you to do that, but we need for you to also cooperate with us to make sure that we take good care of our environment. And the last point, adequate and effective communication. And this one is a bit funny because especially in an age now where we are so attached to our cell phones, perhaps we take it for granted. We don't need to have VHF radios and so on because help is just a phone call away. However, we need to understand that in doing that and limiting ourselves to just a cell phone, you are taking a gamble that the person that you are calling is going to be available and is going to be able to answer you, or that that person is even going to be in a position to be able to help you. Whereas if you use your VHF radio in sending a distress signal or whatever, that will be able to be picked up by all the other persons in the area who have access to using that VHF radio. So we highly advise and encourage you to also use your VHF radio. Now, what happens if a vessel is found unseaworthy? Do you remember the meaning of the word seaworthy? Worthy or fit to be at sea. So obviously, if it's unseaworthy, this means that you have had your vessel surveyed by the surveyor, and he perhaps is not too impressed, or perhaps he started off being impressed, but then he has run into some problem, found some deficiency. It might be major, it might be minor, but in his professional opinion, you're going to be taking a risk either to polluting the environment once again or endangering lives by going at sea. So in the case that this happens and you are found that your vessel is unseaworthy, you're going to need to cease operations. Make sure that you have that deficiency. Once again, a big word, a word that might sound a bit confusing. Whenever you hear that we use that word deficiency, we just mean to say something is wrong. Probably the opposite of that is efficient. Deficient, you're not functioning as you should be. There's some problem and you need to get it fixed so you can be efficient. The more you can be efficient, the more we will prosper and be successful once again. So you're going to cease your operations, you're going to get those deficiencies fixed, and then you're going to go and have your vessel resurveyed. You're going to have that marine surveyor have a look at your vessel once again. And once he does that and he's happy, and he submits the information to us and we, the administration, are also happy, then you in turn can be happy and you can recommence your operations. So remember, what is it that we are encouraging you? Safety and sustainability. Keep it balanced, keep it safe.